I've just gathered my thoughts on the Apple TV series Dear Edward, and here's what I have to say about it. Guys, so over the last couple of months, Apple TV have been releasing lots of TV shows, from Shrinking to Ted Lasso Season 3. There's a crazy amount dropping almost every week. In between those major shows caught my eye, and it's not really a popular one on the platform, yet the premise will intrigue you. And that was, of course, Dear Edward, which follows a group of people as they deal with loss after a plane crash. This episode is probably the most engaging episode because a lot happens and it sets up the rest of the season beautifully. Yet once events of the first episode are over, the show slows down much more. Episodes 2 and a part of 3 as well, our characters form a grief group where they can talk about their experiences. I'm not gonna lie guys, it is pretty slow, and the only thing that will keep you watching is because the first episode has caught your attention emotionally, and through the first half of the season you'll be emotionally invested. The progression is slow but characters stand strong, and there's a lot going on in their lives for you again to be emotionally invested in. Not really because of the plot, but because of these characters and the mental conflicts they're going throughout the show, and the arcs they have and how they progress. It's very slow, like I said, but these characters will engage you. One of the people goes by the name of Edward, a young boy whose family died in a plane crash as they were in the process of moving to Los Angeles. And yeah, it isn't for the lighthearted, and there's a lot to take in, especially after the first episode where we actually get to witness the crash itself as audience. After that goes, it's just about exploring Edward and other characters' lives and how they go on living without the person or people they have lost. So let's start with a quick reflection on the first half of the season. Episode 1 starts well with an introduction that really kicks off the series and sets the tone and the pacing of the show. We move from individual character stories, and the central point of those stories is this grief group which we jump to from time to time. Like I said earlier, it is slow in terms of the whole plot as a whole, but these individual character stories are somewhat engaging, and that's only because, or if, the first episode hooked you in. I think now is the right time for me to mention, if you didn't like episode 1, this show won't be for you, because episode 1 will hit you a little emotionally, and if you were disengaged with the plot it had to offer, then you won't like the rest of the season. You know, the rest of the season isn't as fast paced as the first episode, and potentially the last episode is the only episode where I can see the pacing similar to the first. From around episode 8 onwards, there's not too many individual stories anymore, and these start to all merge together into one big story, and now we can see the plot picks up and progresses quicker. The second half of the season felt a little bit off track, and I'm talking about episodes 5 to 8. Stories began to really drag on and become really complex, and the emotional investment we have received from the first few episodes, they would have worn out by now for most viewers at this point. You can tell characters are going on arcs, but it's here you'll question the story the writers are trying to tell and where this is all going. And then the finale is probably my favourite episode, alongside episode 1. It goes back to the titular character and primarily focuses on Edward throughout as he completes his arc and brings us some warmth whilst visiting locations that remind us of plot points and more from where we started the series and how we were emotionally invested from the first episode in the first place. It brings all of that back, and it really closes the show in such a great way. It's here onwards where plot points are tied together and characters approach the end of their arcs. I will mention that the character development is insane in this series. The characters drive the story forward, and that is always good to see. It has a brilliant start. The middle's not too good, but it's still alright. Yet the finale wraps everything up beautifully. If you like strong characters that you can resonate and connect with, watch the series, because it is slow yet good watch with detailed characters and a strong message of grief and its effects to its core. Overall, and I know this was a really quick video but I'm extremely busy, if you have a good attention span, you will actually see some quality in this series. Anyway guys, if you've seen Dear Edward on Apple TV+, let me know what you guys think of it in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and please follow my Instagram if you get the chance. I'll link it in the description down below. I post reviews pretty much every day, so any engagement helps. Thanks for watching guys, and stay tuned for more. Peace.